Well, hey there. There's been a lot of questions regarding when is the most appropriate time to move your person out of their home or into yours. So, deciding when to move a person with dementia from their home to your home or from their home to an assisted living, memory care, transitional unit, or senior housing can be an extremely difficult decision. And here are the top 5 reasons why you might find it necessary to make this move. And I think that the last one might be a little bit surprising. So, the first reason to move your person with dementia, either out of their home or yours, is if the person with dementia has safety concerns. So, if your person is at their home and they're a risk to themselves, or maybe they're in your home and they're a risk to you, or maybe they're wandering or they're having more falls, or they have the inability to manage those day-to-day tasks, or they're in your home and they're displaying aggressive behavior. I've been seeing a lot of questions around aggression lately. So if they have aggressive behavior and you're having more trouble controlling them either in their own home or in yours, well, then moving them to a more secure environment might be a necessary action that you have to take. The number 2 reason for people moving their person with dementia out of their home and into another type of environment might be caregiver burnout. The physical and the emotional toll that you caregivers have can be pretty intense. If you're experiencing a significant amount of burnout, stress, overwhelm, or even your own health issues, this can certainly affect the type of care that you're giving. And you might need to think about transitioning your person with dementia either out of their home and into yours, so you're not running back and forth, and into a facility where professional care might be available. The third reason that caregivers move their person with dementia out of their home and into another type of environment might be that they have inadequate medical care. As dementia progresses, you may find that your person is requiring more intensive medical and personal care. And that can be challenging for you as a single individual if you don't have help in your home to provide in your own home. So there are professional facilities out there that have care staff and the resources to manage those complex health issues and to ensure that your loved one with dementia receives appropriate type of care. There's also medical personnel like myself who go into assisted livings on a weekly basis and will see your person with dementia for their medical concerns. The fourth reason that I find people moving their loved one from home and into another type of environment is that there's social isolation. When a person is either living alone and they often don't have people coming in and checking on them as frequently because maybe their verbal ability or their physical ability to move around isn't what it used to be, or if they're in your home and you're a sandwich generation caregiver where you've got your own children plus you're taking care of your elderly parent, they might be at home while you're running all of your errands or you're at work or you're doing things with your children. And they find themselves lonely or depressed if they're in those early stages and can differentiate that. So people with dementia will often benefit from the social interaction and structured activities. A lot of these assisted livings and senior housing have activities directors who will do appropriate tasks for your person's abilities, because we don't want to focus on their disabilities. We want to focus on their abilities. So a lot of these places have activity directors that will engage your loved one with dementia. So moving them from home to a specialized facility can offer lots of social engagement and opportunities for cognitive stimulation and activities that are tailored to their needs. All about that personalized care plan, which then improves their overall quality of life. The fifth reason that people will move their person from home and into assisted living is for some type of financial abuse. Either your person's still living at home and they're picking up the phone, or they've got solicitors going to their house and they're preying on your person's cognitive inabilities, and they're taking advantage of them financially. So we move them out of the home and either into our home where we can watch over them more, or we're moving them into an assisted living facility where those solicitors won't be going around to their doors, knocking door to door, asking them for money or to do yard work in their home that they can't obviously supervise. I'm not saying that these decisions are going to be easy, but what I am saying is that these are decisions that sometimes have to be considered. And the top two emotions that I normally find when I'm working with families are guilt and relief, which I know that sounds really funny because they're at opposite ends of the spectrum. But guilt is a real emotion. And if you're no longer able to take care of your person at home, guilt is a normal feeling. That feeling that you're abandoning your person, that you're giving up on your person, that you're no longer capable. But all of that couldn't be further from the truth. The fact of the matter is that sometimes, like in a case of aggression, if you are the spouse of a gentleman or a female, but I'm going to say that you're the wife, and your husband is 6 foot tall and you're all of 5'4", and your husband becomes physically aggressive with you, the chances that you're going to get hurt or you're both going to get hurt are great. So you're not abandoning your person. You're just putting yourself in a safe situation where you can go to a facility and you can take care of them as the wife and not necessarily the primary caregiver. Notice I didn't say not caregiver at all, but I said the primary caregiver. And then there's that sense of relief, which is weird because you might feel guilty over the fact that you have relief, because that intense burden feeling that kind of overhangs when you are a primary caregiver, where you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling confused, you're feeling isolated from your own friends and family, not to mention you're feeling extremely burned out and you've put yourself on the back burner. And now you've got this space where you can actually sit back and take a breath and feel a little bit of relief. But then in creeps that guilt, saying, I shouldn't feel this way because I went into this for better, for worse, in sickness and in health. Well, you can't give up your own health, and you can't give up your own mental sanity or your own mental stability. So it's a fine line, guilt and relief. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is seek out support groups. There are so many wonderful support groups out there. We have one with Dementia Caregivers Academy, and there are many others out there. I participate in a lot of them. I see the things that are being said, and I think that that's a wonderful way to support each other, because when we have other people who have answers to a situation where we've not been yet, they have insight and answers to where we're going. So seeking a support group so that you can understand how dementia progresses, then seeking good educational resources. You're going to find a ton of information out there on dementia and dementia caregiving. And let me just say, one size does not fit all. When you've met one person with dementia, you have met one person, and that care needs to be very individualized to your person. So finding good resources out there, good educational resources out there, and learning as much as you can about dementia and how it progresses. And that's just to give a general overview, because nobody is going to progress the same way. That feeling that you have of relief, I want you to not focus on the guilty aspect of that, but rather try and turn it around and focus on all of the things that you've neglected over the past couple of years. So if that's been your physical health, well then make an appointment with your PCP, get in there, get your lab work, get your EKG, get your chest x-rays, get your DEXA scans, and make sure that everything is going good with your care, because even though you won't be the primary caregiver anymore, you still can't pour from an empty cup. If it has been the fact that you haven't gone to church and you need to fill your inner soul cup, well, then get into church and fill your soul up. If it's that you miss playing bridge with your lady friends, contact them back and ask if you can join back in those groups, or some other type of hobby that you had to give up. Make sure that you stay involved, though, with your person's care. Not that we're just going to go drop them off someplace and abandon them, right? But you need to be involved. You need to figure out who that person is that's going to be seeing your loved one there in the facility if they have medical oversight, whether it's a nurse practitioner or a physician, and you're going to want to communicate with them and say, I like to be communicated with about the following things. I want to know about any med changes, any lab work, any tests that you're ordering on my person, when you might be in the facility, so that if I'm noticing some changes that you're not noticing, that I can come to that appointment. Or what's the best way to communicate with you, medical provider, so that I can convey the things that I need to convey to you? And how do I find those notes, those tests and things, so that I can pull them into my person's story so that I have a complete book? Make sure that you're participating in those care plans. Every assisted living facility, every memory care, every transitional unit will often have meetings where the executive director and the care staff team get together and they discuss your loved one and what's changing, or what the care staff has noticed is changing. Are they having more falls? Are they no longer bathing on their own? Are they not eating as much at meals? So just make sure what you find out when those care planning events are going to happen, and that you participate in those so that your person's story is told, their wishes are honored and respected, and that you let them know, these are the things that I want to be communicated to about. If my husband falls, or if my wife falls at 4:00 in the morning, yes, I want that phone call, because I want to make the decision whether they go to the hospital or not. So like I said, deciding to move your person with dementia from either their home to yours, or their home to assisted living, or your home to an assisted living, is a very difficult decision to make. But there are some very legitimate reasons why you should be moving your person from point A to point B. And today we discussed those top 5 and some emotions that you might be experiencing with that, and how to potentially deal with those emotions and what you can do with those. If you've had to move your person from point A to point B, put in the comments below what that looked like for you. Where were they? Where did you move them? And what emotions did you deal with? Because I truly believe that we are here to support each other as caregivers and to support one another on this journey. If we don't support our caregivers, we're not going to see things changing for us anytime in the near future. So drop your comments below, click like, click subscribe if you're on YouTube, and share this out. Have a great night, everyone.